Okay, now we're recording. Yeah, they changed the setting on
Um,
Zoom so that it used to just be like on the bottom part of the interface that you just hit record, but now you have to go up to meeting, and
oh
I feel
yeah.
like I
I'm
do with my
trying to,
students.
how do I turn, I don't know how to turn my work email like sound off. I'm
Oh,
just gonna have to shut.
is
Hold
it?
on, I think I see it. Notifications? No.
I know I have
It's
problems with that.
Outlook. Do you know how to do that?
Well, the easy way is just to just X out of it for, however long we talk, which won't be that.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
that
mean,
works.
that's an idea. So actually, I think I'll
Okay.
do that with mine because, yeah, I do have Outlook.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's always bing. Yeah, and it's
exactly. Okay, done.
woohoo, okay. Well, people, hi. I'm here with Kate Motsko, who's got a little bit of a cough.
Yeah.
Do you have the allergy stuff going on?
Yeah, I think it's like cedar, and I just ran a couple
Yes.
miles this morning, so I think I just like picked up
Yeah, I
all
know.
of the things.
It's so funny. I remember back in September. I don't think you were there that day. It was one of those weekends where they went out. Tejas Trails went out, and they were doing the cedar or the trail building,
Yep.
and it was like feels like 107. And I guess that I don't have a shovel, so I mean,
Yeah.
but I have some loppers, I guess they're called, these things that you lop branches off,
Okay.
and so they had me out there lopping cedar branches off. It was just sort of like, okay, give her something to do. Just go keep her busy for a while. I mean, thank God they weren't pollinating because I was freaking.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm like, oh my God, I'm so allergic to this stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, whoo, God. Anyway, all
Those
right.
are
Kate
those
Motz,
are fun though. I like the trail building.
I'm not very good at it. And so, well, I'm not good at it when it feels like 107 degrees. I
Yeah,
guess
no,
that
I feel
was,
you.
we were, yeah.
It's
And
more
it's,
like character building than trail
oh,
building.
God. Well, it's like I never go out there when the weather is pleasant. It's always like extreme, like
Yeah.
just out there at Bandera, and it was cold. I mean, it wasn't as bad as well, I was there on Saturday. It wasn't as bad as Sunday, but
Sunday was horrible. Yeah.
I know. I always seem to pick the better day sometimes. Well, not
Okay.
always, but sometimes, yeah. But anyway, speaking of Tejas Trails, you are the recipient of the, I hope I say his name right, Dan Keitz Award.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
and so are you.
I know. Well, I was like a couple years ago.
Yeah. 2019 was it?
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
was.
okay.
No, 21, because
21. Okay.
yeah, because it was the weekend I ran the 50K, well, hiked the 50K,
Yes.
but it was on my birthday. And so like you, I had no idea,
Yeah,
that
I was
this
like
thing.
shocked.
Yeah.
And I had
Did you even know
COVID, so
about
I
this
wasn't
award?
there.
Did you know
Yeah,
about the award? Okay.
no. I mean, I knew like about it, but I had no idea that I was gonna, be the
Yeah, no.
recipient. It was incredible. So I watched the Instagram like live video like several times and like cried and this whole thing.
It's exciting. Yeah, and just for people who don't know what we're talking about, this is the highest award that Tejas Trails gives out every year to the person that best represents the spirit of Dan Keitz, who died in 2010, I believe, from Lou Gehrig's disease. But he was a badass trail dude from Austin, as I recall the story.
Yep.
And but yeah, it's usually for people who volunteer a lot and just promote stewardship on the trail, and all that stuff that we love to do. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's why I was not surprised you won,
No.
but that was,
No,
yeah,
it was so
really,
wonderful. Yeah. Quite
yeah,
an honor.
yeah. So when did you actually get the award?
Um, so Quack picked it up for me.
Okay.
And then I met him on Thursday at like the Rock Hopper
Oh,
little social run and beer drinking afterwards.
yeah.
So
Bach did
um
pretty good at Bandera. My God, I think he came in third or something in
he
the.
did amazing. I
Yeah.
know. He's just a beast. So
He is. I mean, I've just only been acquainted with him, but God, I need to get him on here at some point. Lord,
yeah.
a lot of talent in that Rock Hoppers group.
Yes, there is.
Well, tell me about your experience with how you got into trail. Have you always been a runner, or you? I think when I met you, and this is so funny because this is why this always sticks out in my mind, but
Okay.
I think you might have had a boot on your foot or your ankle or something.
Probably.
Yeah,
I'm injured
God,
like
it's
half
doing that
the
again.
time.
Did you just see that? It
What?
if I
Yeah.
do. it did that thing. This happens to me every time because I'm very expressive with my hands, and like I had all kinds of weird crap going on when I talked to Timothy last week. Like,
Okay. Interesting. I don't know. I am like,
it's so weird. This is a new thing. I don't know why they're doing this. This is like you're supposed to be professional, you know? It's like, why do I have thumbs up and
thumbs up popping up on the
I
screen.
don't know, but no, but I think you had a boot on your ankle or something.
Yeah, or I was probably on crutches or
Yeah,
something.
you were on the disabled list a little bit, but of course I
Yeah.
talked about coming out to volunteer, and I think it was at Pandora's, and you and your then boyfriend, I think,
Yeah.
helped me set up my tent because
Yeah.
I had bought a
Yeah.
tent. I still have no idea how to set it up. I probably I'm just gonna have to ask, whenever I use it again, I'll just see, Kate. Oh God, but yeah, but you just impressed me, just with your energy and enthusiasm and whatnot. And yeah, but anyway, how long have you always been a runner? I guess is my first question.
So, my background's competitive swimming, so I did that for a long time, probably 15 years.
Wow.
And then picked up running in like 2010,
Okay.
2011, my first ultra. So I did a couple road marathons, and then a guy, I was waiting tables at the time, going to school, and a guy that I waited tables with was a rock hopper and was like, "Oh, like get out of the road scene. Like I know this
Come
group."
to the
So he
dark
put me on
side.
the so he put me on the email,
Who was
list.
that?
Guillermo Rosa, which he like, kind of dropped off. I mean, this was back in
2010.
2015. So I
Okay.
had already done my first ultra ever was Bandera 100K in
Oh,
2012. Yeah.
that's insane.
I had
Was that the year that it was like all muddy and
Oh, it was horrible.
cold? Yes, I think I was doing the 50K that day. Maybe well, no,
Okay.
it was 2012. No, I wasn't out there. I was probably doing 25K, but yeah,
Okay.
oh,
Yeah.
that's tough.
So am I think it like took me like 16 hours or something.
Pretty
Yeah, I
impressive.
mean, I carried like everything. I didn't know anything about aid stations or drop bags.
What? They give us
It was
food?
like, yeah, it was cool though. It was like a journey, and I was like, okay, like this is, you know, the goal, the objective in front of me, and like let me see how far I can move on my feet. So it was and then I kind of just got hooked and
Yeah.
as we
The,
do.
after the initial feeling of, well, it didn't kill me, so I think I can
Exactly. Like
do
let me
this
see how
again.
much farther I can go.
I know. Yeah, because I mean, I can remember the first time I ran a half marathon, and that might have been around 2010 or something. Well, yeah, probably 2010, 2011. And because I got in around the same time you did. And I was going to die, especially like mile 12. It's like, oh my God, I'm never going to finish this thing.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I am never doing this again. And then, a couple days later, it
Like
starts
sign
going,
up for something.
yeah, I could do this. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, I know how
Yeah.
to go. So, wow, tackling 100K as your first ultra. That's,
Yeah, I went from marathon to 100K. I mean, I probably wouldn't recommend it, but it worked. I finished. So and got hooked. Like really had a great time, uh, and yeah, I kind of just started from there.
yeah.
And,
So, what was the training like for that? I was just thinking about this morning because I've got a 50K on my radar for this year.
okay.
I really didn't run a lot last year, but because of injury. But I I was thinking to myself about doing the Wild Hair 50K because that's where I did my first 50K, and I love that course. That race is so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that the barn and the cows and all that stuff. But I was like, you know why I don't do more ultras now is because I hate the training. Some people love it. Are you one of those people who enjoys the training part of it?
Um, I do like I need to have a race to train for, and then I get like really geared up and
Mhm.
like excited about it.
Great.
But yeah, like just training on its own, if there's not like a goal in the near future, like it's very hard for me.
Yeah, it's hard to stay motivated to do 20 miles or
Yeah,
something just for the heck of it. Like, oh yeah.
exactly.
Well,
So
unless you're Nancy Marks or something, and she
she's
just
a beast.
runs
Yeah, I
around
don't
like
know. She
Georgetown just
just
because she
I know, on her little like Timex like watch, like she doesn't know how
Is
far
that
she's
what she's got? Oh
gone.
my God.
She doesn't use a Garmin, like it's insane.
I had
But
no idea about that part. My God, as much as she, takes on these crazy races, it's like you'd think,
yeah, no one, like I don't think she like wants to, like she just doesn't want.
she's old school. But that's
I
fun.
could not like deal with not knowing how far I'd gone, but
Oh no, no, that's half the fun, or how long did it take me? Did I beat my time?
yeah.
Or then you ruminate and you're like, oh my God, I've gotten so slow.
Right. Oh no, it's a slow
Ooh.
section. It'll pick back up.
So it
But
sounds like this kind of stuff comes easy to you, though, in a way. I
yeah,
mean,
no, I don't think so. I think I mean I've always been an athlete. I've always like loved to like push myself and push my boundaries, and that's like exciting to me to like, see what the body can accomplish, and the mind,
mhm.
I think is a big component there.
So,
Um
does this run in your family? I mean, are your parents athletic, or your siblings, or do you have siblings?
My no, so I'm an only child. My dad was a swimmer. He was all American, but didn't like swim in college, just swam high school. And then my mom, not so much. She's kind of
Just
not
kind of,
an athlete at all.
that's okay. I don't think either mine were either.
Uh,
So, no.
but yeah, no, it's always been like an outlet for me, and just something I really enjoyed. And then I guess I really got into like ultra, like I did it like 2012, and then I was like in college. I didn't go back to school until I was like 26.
Okay.
So I
You
was
studied.
working. I'm 36 now.
Okay. And
um,
where did you go and what did you
I
study?
went to UTSA. I studied microbiology and immunology.
Ooh.
So but it was tough. I was like working 30 hours a week, waiting tables and bartending, and then taking like 16 hours of
Ooh.
uh, classes. So I've learned, I think like the major thing I got out of my college career was like time management and how to be like really, really good with like every minute. And
Yeah. No,
uh,
I can see that.
so, so anyway, so yeah, like 2018, I graduated in 2019. So 2018, I really started like getting into the thick of the ultras, and more stuff with Tejas, and
Yeah.
yeah,
They're
and
so
then went
great.
on to like the longer distance stuff in like 21 and 22.
Yeah. So what's the longest distance you've gone so far?
So I did Cactus Rose 150-mile, 21 and 22.
Oh my God, I did not know you did that one. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
doing it, but wow. Okay.
So
Okay.
that was, I really like the multi-day stuff.
Why do you think that is? Most people probably would go, whoo, do you sleep? That whole
Yeah,
thing.
I slept. So the first time it was when it was going to be at Bandera, and then it got moved
Oh,
last minute because of the storms to Camp Eagle. So
yeah.
I went 46 hours there. I slept a little, probably a couple hours.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then the following year was back at Bandera. And I went 42 hours and slept like 30 minutes. So
Yeah.
it was awesome. Like I had the best crew and pacers and
Oh, that really
team,
helps.
and it
Yeah.
was incredible. Yeah. So
Yeah. Wow. Um, sorry, I'm just taking some notes here so I,
yeah.
have things to remember. I mean, but anyway, wow, 150, that's impressive. So how do you mentally, again, I'm asking kind of not rookie questions, but questions an average person might ask. But how do you mentally get through stuff like that? Although it sounds like that's your wheelhouse, but
Um, I think for me, you have to break it up into sections. If you go in and think, oh my gosh, I have to run 150 miles, like yeah.
yeah.
So I would kind of take each loop as it came. They were 25-mile loops.
Mm.
And if I was feeling down, or you just think, okay, like I have 5 miles to get to the next aid station. Like I can do that. Like I can move my body 5 miles, and then like let's see what that like how I feel at that aid station, and kind of feed off of the people.
Mhm.
The first 150, like January and Richard, who
Uh-huh.
are also
They won
recipients of
last
the
year.
Dean Keitz Awards, like brought me back to life. Like I was like 130 miles in. I hadn't really slept. It's like going through drop bags, like delirious.
Yeah.
And they like looked at me and were like, you need to lay down for, an hour or whatever. And it was great. Like they just took care of me, and I kind of jumped back into it, and
Just 20 more miles.
yeah, but hey, like it's all relative, so if you
But
run
it's
like
really hard when you're in
130,
that.
like what's 20, like nothing. Like
Oh, I know. So it sounds like you've got a really good mental game going. I mean, have you ever let the DNF fairy kind of convince you to quit a race?
no, well, once, and it was like weird. It was for a marathon. It was a mellow marathon.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I like just like got in my head. My stomach wasn't feeling great, and I kind of just like went down that rabbit hole instead of just like, okay, slow the pace. Like you don't need to win this. Like just finish. I just was like pulled at the half marathon mark, and I still like to this day, I'm like, why did you do that? But no, any DNFs I've had have all been like injuries. We're still kind of trying to figure out what's going on, but I've had 3 stress fractures in the last 5 years of like really odd bones. So like my left inferior pubic ramus, so that's like the bottom bone of my pelvis, my left femur and left tibia.
Ooh.
So it's been ongoing with doctors and blood work and DEXA scans and trabecular scans, but we're thinking that it may be more of a mechanical issue since everything is on the left.
Oh.
So yeah, any DNFs that I've had, Rocky 100 mile, I was like, I had trained so well, everything was going great. I was probably gonna go like 18 hours, and 65 miles into it, my femur fractured. So
Oh
they
my.
actually had to like pull me like off the floor, like I couldn't walk. And then the following year, so I rehabbed that. And then last year, Bandera 100K.
Uh-huh.
I'm like 45 miles in, and tibial fracture.
Oh
And Dave
no.
50 actually had to like carry me off the course. I could not walk.
Oh my
So,
God.
so my DNFs are like hard earned.
Yeah, well,
Like,
I was gonna
I
say,
don't give up.
it wasn't because of a broken brain or something.
No,
Woo.
physically, yeah. I think at one point at Bandera, like after the injury, I like got down on all fours and was gonna like try to like crawl out. And it's like, this isn't gonna work. This is not a good idea. So
That's courageous though.
yeah, but I picked up cycling
Yeah, I
I
see
guess
that.
like April of last year.
Uh-huh.
And I've just like really enjoyed it. Like, it's non-impact, and
It's
I get
nice.
the social aspect, and it's been really fun, like chasing down like segments on Strava, and like I'm all about the crowns.
Yeah. Well, I follow you on Strava, yeah, and I'm always like, wow, look at her. She's out there riding.
Yeah, so I like it. And I've met a lot of great people. So it's
You know,
good. It's
Steve,
kind of
right?
replaced a little of the running,
Yeah. Well, I think we kind of need to, yeah, shake it up sometimes. You know Steve
Yeah,
Carter then, right?
yeah. He actually got me like into a lot of these groups, and I did a fundraising ride with him in June, and then I was like, oh, like I like this
Yeah.
longer bike stuff. So
I like
yeah,
cycling too. Yeah.
yeah.
Funny because I'm interviewing him this afternoon. So
Oh, are you? Cool. Okay.
but anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, cycling is that's how I got started really athletically. You know, it was like I was more of a cyclist and I'm actually good at it. And or I
Well,
was good
you're
at it.
like, I mean, you're like a pretty solid athlete.
Thank you. I haven't felt like one in the last year,
Oh,
but I've been doing a lot of the indoor rowing stuff. I go to
okay.
this that's downtown and it's they have the water rowers they're called.
Yeah, those are like great. Again, like no impact, full body, like core. You get the cardio. They're
Yeah. Then
solid.
we
Yeah.
do kettlebells and
Okay,
TRX.
there you go.
Yeah, it's called Energy X Fitness, just in case you're ever interested.
Okay.
It's a cool place. Yeah, that's actually where I'm going at noon today.
Okay, yeah, you mentioned that.
I've got a rowing class. But anyway, so wow, so so do you think that you'll I mean, it sounds like you done triathlons then?
So I haven't, well, I did like that Kerrville, it's like a
Mm.
duathlon because
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
still wasn't running. I just actually got cleared to start running again. That tibial fracture took like a year to heal. So um it it was a roller coaster. So no, I haven't done a triathlon. I would think like I think I'd love it. And I'm hoping, yeah, that I don't, maybe if I can, run 20, 25 miles a week, stay injury free, and then, obviously swim and
Maybe do a
bike.
sprint. Yeah.
I could be like, yeah, no, I like the long stuff. I don't
Want to do
I
an
don't have
Ironman.
I don't have the fast twitch. Yeah, no, I would definitely want to do like the
No,
full
that's
head.
understandable. Yeah.
So,
So
but
that's
yeah, I think right now biking is gonna be my primary sport. And then I'll kind of use running to supplement, keep
yeah.
stay active on bad weather days and
Yes. Yeah, it is nice to have something to fall back on.
exactly. Yeah, no, like it's definitely nice to have some options.
Yeah, I can remember having plantar, and this was when I lived in the valley, and I wanted to run so much because that was a very social thing for me. It was like my going out, and I was just so sad about it, and so I got on my bike and I would like ride on the well, I couldn't ride, but I'd ride on the paved part of the trail, where my friends were, at least
Yeah.
so I could see them, and stuff. It's terrible because yeah, it's yeah, duathlons are a blast. That's one of my favorites. I gave my bike to my sister because too many people were getting hit by cars
Yeah.
in the valley, and so I just gave her my bike, and but I would love to get back into it because I think it's so fun, and
You
yeah.
should. Yeah, that's great.
Sorry, I've got a little black cat outside my door that's meowing at me. I have my front
Oh,
screen open, or
feed me.
yeah, basically, I call him Goo because when he was a baby, he had really goopy eyes. Sometimes they get that crap,
Yeah.
and so I was like always cleaning his eyes, and he's fine now. He's a bruiser anyway. Woo, boy, Donna. So talk about tell me about your involvement with the uh volunteering and race directing is part of your
Oh, so that's kind of been a new thing. So I'm the assistant race director to the Great Springs Trail Race,
right.
which is part of the project to connect San Antonio to Austin with like over 100 miles of trail. So um, I know I'm really excited. So that's been really cool to be a part of. And then yeah, volunteering like when I'm not running, which has been the way of late. I enjoy volunteering, so I'm actually going to be at Rocky 100 Friday through Sunday this coming weekend.
Oh
So
wow, cool.
it'll be nice. I don't know, Saturday the weather's not looking all that hot,
That's
but
no, that's yeah. I don't think I've ever volunteered at Rocky. I've paced
okay.
someone. I've run the 50K a couple times, and I've done the half at least once.
Okay.
But that was right before the giant freeze of 21. I did the
Yeah.
or 20 whatever year that was, 21. Yeah, and,
Yep.
man, yeah, that was something else. It was like
Yeah.
it's with a friend of mine, and I was like, okay, it's gonna get real cold real fast. We need to get the hell out of here,
Yeah.
And I had given her my car key because she's a little faster. Well, she's like half my age. So I'm like, okay, Jessica, you take my car key, go sit in the car after you're done. I'll get in when I do. But and then she lost my car key.
Oh no.
And so
Just
yes,
from on the trail, I guess.
well, yeah, and this is the fun part about trail runners, and I always call this sort of like the trail running miracle, but somebody found the key. And when I was
Wow.
approaching the aid station, they're like, I was like, oh my God, I lost my key.
Yeah.
And they're like, is it this? I'm like, oh my God, you
Yeah.
So I was so grateful.
No, take it anyway.
I'm like, Jessica, I'm gonna hold on to the key. So I told her to go into the lodge and just hang out there and just tell them you're with me, because those guys, Nimier and those guys were all there, and she made friends with all those guys, and they were BFFs by the time I rolled in about 20 minutes after her. So, oh God, but yeah, Rocky's a fun race though. I mean, it's just Bandera is like Bandera, it's
they're so different. Rocky is like, although it's not as flat as it like.
No, it's not.
But you can run pretty fast out there, and it's fun. Yeah, but don't let those roots get you. You gotta pick up your feet.
But if I had to choose, I would choose Rocky over Bandera pretty much any time, because I'm not good on the rocks. Although the last time it was 2 years ago, I guess, when I did the 50K, I was trying to run. It's all sandy out there and stuff, and it was kind of damp and wet and cold, of course. And it was on my birthday, and somehow I tripped. I didn't even think there was a route. I just tripped. Leave it to me. I can do this stuff, but I slid like like some baseball player in the home plate, and I jammed my finger. And I'm just like, God,
I get it.
How could this happen? I was like such an idiot, but.
No, my knees are like destroyed from trail running.
Yeah. Well, mine are okay. It's my hip. That's
okay.
But that's better.
And not in terms of like bad like knee joints, just like scars. Like I'm just very I don't know if I'm clumsy or I don't know.
No, I mean, I just think I think it's just part of the culture. I mean, I think if you haven't fallen on a trail, you're probably
you're not working hard enough.
Yeah, I know, because I can remember the first time I had my first trail fall. I was so excited. I was like, "Yes, I've got it out of the way now." So
it's like that, and then like missing, like losing toenails. Like
oh God, yes, I haven't had that happen for a while, but yes,
my feet are just my Achilles heel, and that's for both those two 150s I did. Like I think I lost all 10 toenails and like had an abscess. It was just like,
why am I doing this?
I don't know why. I changed socks, I changed shoes, like I follow all the right things, like I do like body glide my feet and all the so I've just gotten like used to it.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the other thing too. If you haven't lost a toenail, then you probably haven't run far enough.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like I think the Captain Carl's races where I always seem to do it to myself. I was doing the 30Ks for a while, and I think it's just all that heat and humidity, getting caught up in there, and then it's just like, ugh, and then next day you start feeling that pressure, and you're like, ugh, God, I'm gonna lose it. But it feels so good once it comes off.
Yeah.
So, well, tell me about the race directing at Great Springs, because I know you and Dave kind of, I guess you're like what do you want to call it, like the pioneers of that race, or how did that one come about?
He and Chris have really like done the majority of like the background, and and I was just they asked me to kind of be a part of it in terms of like volunteer organization and start finish hype and like marking. And so for me it's like very much a learning experience. I follow the directions they give me. But it's really cool to like be on that side of things. And luckily like our first year it ran like so smooth, like it couldn't have ran any smoother. So and that was really cool.
Yeah, and we got the eclipse. That was so much fun.
The eclipse overall female winner, which I always love, like big on that. She was just a beast.
And I don't think you had anybody drop on that one, did you?
Pardon me?
There were no DNFs on that one, were there?
No, everyone finished.
I know, that's well. It was just a half marathon, but still, stuff can happen. That's so cool. So, will you be doing that?
I'm in it.
Yeah, all right.
They're keeping me.
That's good. What did you learn about being a race director that you didn't know as a volunteer?
I don't know. Those walkie-talkies are really annoying. I'm just like, what? Like a Morse code? Yeah.
Yeah, walkie-talkies, they're hard, but thank God they have them, but at least there's cell phone service there too. I think that's one of the things that drives me nuts
Yes.
about
Oh
Bandera.
yeah, that's like super helpful.
Yeah, 'cause
Um, yeah.
that can get bad. So what's your favorite part about volunteering, or is there a favorite race that you volunteered at?
I think my favorite part of volunteering, I like to volunteer at the longer stuff.
Mhm.
I think it's really neat to, see someone 5 miles in and then, let's say 100-mile race, see them 90 miles in and you're part of that journey with them in a sense.
Mhm.
And the highs and lows of, what comes with running 100 miles and maybe they, don't think they can do it at some point or, and just helping with nutrition and overall morale. But yeah, I think like when you see somebody accomplish something that they don't think they could do at times, I think that's like really powerful,
That's
and I like
awesome.
really like feed off of that.
Same. Yeah, I use that as inspiration, I think sometimes when I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah,
into
and
the
it's like,
darkness.
yeah, I mean you have people like in their 70s like Judy Shipway,
Oh, I
who
love her. She's so nice.
I like, I'm obsessed with that woman. Like she's just so cool. Every time you see her, she, yeah, is just happy and like she'll be like 70 miles in and smells good. Like I don't know like what's going on. She's like putting perfume on the trail, but it's like really impressive. And I'm also
Yeah, and she
good.
doesn't look bad. She doesn't look like she's beat up
No,
or
she's
anything. She's just
always
kind
like
of,
just grinding it out. Exactly.
she's got this very elegant air about her, I think. I
Yeah,
don't know how to put it, but yeah, she's
I
just
know. I'm a
she's
fan. I'm
lovely.
a Judy
Yeah,
fan.
me too.
So I
Me
haven't seen her
too.
in a little while, but
I haven't
uh,
either. Yeah, sometimes I look at the who signed up, or
mhm,
I love following race results, especially if I'm home in my bed. But
right.
I just geek out with the numbers. It's like I don't know why, but it's like because I hate math, but I love like looking at how long it takes people to do certain things, and or if I see people who have DNF'd and then they're like rock star runners, I'm like, oh my God, what happened? So and so.
Yeah.
It's always interesting, but
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, Judy's pretty awesome.
Yeah. No, she's wonderful.
But yeah, I had a guy at Bandera this year. He was doing the 100K. I think he's probably close to 60, but he came into equestrian Saturday afternoon, and he was sitting at a picnic table, and one of the people who was just spectating or waiting for their runner came over to the aid station, and he's like, this guy can't even stand up. And I'm like, oh my God, and so I went over and kind of looked at him, and we kept giving him water and trying to feed him and make him come back to life, and he's like, I think I'm done. And I'm like, okay. So I gave him a ride back to the start finish, and I had Janelle kind of take care of him after
Yeah.
that. And then he came back to our aid station maybe an hour or so later, and he looked like a completely different person. And he just, all the stress was gone from his
Yeah.
face, just
Yeah.
like, yeah. And he was just, but it's such a fun feeling when because, I was like very worried about him. I was like, wow, I don't know. And he told me that he had, what's it called? MS. And so I was like,
Okay.
"Ooh, shoot, that's
Yeah.
courageous, but yeah, he, I mean, he dropped, but
Yeah.
he
He was
ended up
okay.
looking
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, so that's kind of fun. What do you think the hardest thing is about volunteering at the trail races? Or is that
Oh,
the hard part?
um, I I always like want to push people to like keep going. So I think I love Tejas for many reasons, but one of them is they have really generous cutoffs. So for like, Rocky 100, I think it's like a 32-hour cutoff or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
right? So, if even if you have like a pretty bad race or you're moving slow, you can generally like time wise, you can finish.
Yeah.
So, I think if, obviously like, an injury or, what have you, like will put you out. But I think, people are just tired and everything hurts. I mean, you've traveled so far. It's like, okay, just like lay down for an hour, like take a reset. And, maybe sometimes they're like, no, like here's my chip. I'm like, oh, I don't want to take this. I don't want to take your chip.
That's so funny. That's funny. That just reminded me of something when PJ and I were working. I think we were at Mellow, And oh man, it was hot that day because it's like in September. And um, there's this guy, he was doing his first marathon. And he and I were, so PJ and I were working the the aid station before the finish line. So it was like 3 miles. And this guy came through, we gave him water and all this. And then we saw him kind of go up the trail and he just puked his guts out.
Okay.
And he came back over to the aid station and he laid down in the grass. And he just laid there for about, I don't know, 5, 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden he just popped up and he's like, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm gonna finish this thing. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Dead man walking. All right.
Right.
Yeah. That's
Funny.
yeah. I think the hardest part for me with volunteering is just I get bored.
Okay.
Yeah. And just trying to, because I like being busy. That's why I think I
Yeah.
like working the finish line a lot of times because it's
Okay.
like there's always something to do at the
Yep.
finish, and sometimes if you're out at, some aid station, you're just sort of, and I'm not real
Yep.
good at that. So
Okay.
it's like, I get a little,
Yeah.
weird, but anyway, so your goal for this coming year then is just getting back on your feet, I guess, and continuing the cycling and
Yeah. Yes. So I'm doing, it's called Texas Hell Week. And then there's a
that the
500
cycling.
mile race after that. So it's a cycling thing. It's starts in Fredericksburg every day. I'll be doing 100 miles a day for 6 days.
Ooh,
And then at the end of that wonderful
experience.
experience, I'm starting a 500-mile race.
Where?
So, it's all like loops out of Fredericksburg. So
Okay.
I think the first loop is like 240 miles.
Oh,
There are different like clover leaves that'll bring you back in. So I think I have 48 hours to complete that.
wow.
So I'm really gonna start amping up the training,
I think so.
on the bike So these next couple months and see what I can do. So it'll be fun. Yeah, I'm like kind of curious about nutrition and how I can maybe take my knowledge from ultra running and put that into the cycling. Although it's harder to eat while on the bike than it is to
I have a
run.
lot of trouble eating with that. Yeah.
I'll probably do a lot of liquid calories and just learning. And then I gotta get a crew. So anyone out there that wants to
And when is this 500-mile race?
yes, in this 500-mile race, it's gonna be interesting because I'm like cycling through the night. So like I need a follow car from like 7 p.m. to like 8 a.m.
Yeah. And when is this?
Like March 24th to April 1st.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm excited. It'll be interesting. I'm gonna try to learn how to manage saddle sores as much as
I know that's what
possible.
I think the hardest, I mean, I've done a few hundreds, and I've done 4 of the MS-150s,
Okay.
but it's over 2 days, but so you're doing about 75 miles a day.
Yeah.
I think for me, like on that second day, especially, it's so hard to get back on the bike after you've been off of it because you're like, oh,
Yeah.
do you feel that too?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I did a 250 last year. It was like 150 miles one day and 100 the next.
Oh, is
And
that
it
the
was like
one that goes
it
to
was
San
from McAllen to San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I-
I was like super new to cycling and like
in
didn't know anything
June?
about the chamois cream. And so
And
day
it's
two,
in June, for God's sake,
yeah, I still have some scars from that one.
That's that's spina bifida 250.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know some people who have done that one too. So
Yeah. No, it was really great. And it was good because it was like it's pretty flat,
yeah.
compared to like this 500 miles is like 27,000 feet of climbing in 500 miles. So it's not flat. And,
Different ball game, yeah. But
so yeah, but
that's good help.
we'll see how it pans out. I'm like looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to the training for that.
Good.
So, like, which I guess is good because I don't really have a choice.
Better. Oh my God, that's awesome. So anyway, I really appreciate you taking a little time to talk to me this morning. And
Thank
I know
you so
you've got to go
much.
to work. And where do you work, by the way?
I'm in medical device sales. So
Oh,
I work for a company called Convatec. I sell skin subs. So I deal with any like chronic non-healing wound.
oh,
Kind of work to avoid amputation, do a lot of limb salvage, and just people who aren't able to heal. So it's actually a porcine, a placental porcine xenograft. So pig placenta. It's
oh, okay. I was like, I
interesting.
don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, totally like decellularized, but
Wow.
it's cool. Like it's very rewarding to be able to like help people
Oh,
that have had these wounds for sometimes years, and help them keep their limbs. So yeah,
awesome.
I like it.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, listen, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yes, thank you so
Thanks.
much for having me on. What an honor.
No, I'm honored to have you. So
Oh.
anyway, hang on real quick.
Okay.